I'm really excited to talk to you, actually. So I love you in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Thank you.
And you're always the guy that I remember the most from that movie. Because I remember, and with that cast, I remember watching it for the first time. You're the one that I immediately kind of, I was like, I love this guy.
Thank you. That's kind of you to say so.
Yeah. So, okay. So I was reading that you were there for the last take that Daniel Craig ever did as James Bond. And I was just wondering if you could tell me a little bit about what that experience was like. 'Cause that must have been fascinating to be kind of there for history.
It was. I mean, it was not only his last day, it was also the last day of shooting that coincided. So it had been a long, at times challenging period because there was the accident that he suffered. There was the slight incident at the Pinewood Studios. So when we finally got to the end of the shoot, everybody was, I suppose, relieved and happy that we got that far. But it was a special night. It was a night shoot, and there was music playing on set, like loud music, as if like a festive ambience was created. And I think Lashana Lynch had ordered one of these food trucks with the Jamaican jerk chicken being served up if you wanted that. And as I remember, I might be mistaken, Cary Fukunaga had arranged for some sort of cupcakes, some fashionable cake situation. It was in that Cuba setting. So there was music in between takes, you could eat those cakes, and you started saying goodbye to people that you'd worked close with over the last 6 months, hugging and, talking it through. And I remember vividly my dresser, he started crying when I hugged him. I got emotional. I just remember him now. He was such a sweet Italian kid. And so it went on, and it was a night, it went later and later, and then cigars were being lit, as I remember.
Nice.
Oh, well, James Bond, I think, smoked cigars, or somebody said there were cigars on set. And we did the final shot, and and then Daniel got out to the crew and spoke a few words. It was, I think it's out there online somehow, and said some wise, chosen words, and he got emotional. Everybody was a bit emotional. I think Barbara in particular, Barbara Broccoli, was. This was a very important day or night for all of them, I was just happy to be there as a witness, and in a way it's weird to say so, but a bit of an honor to be the last Bond colleague he ever had. Yeah. So it was a big night. It was
I imagine. So I have to ask you also, so I'm very familiar with your work. I've seen a lot of your stuff, and I think your stuff is great, Chernobyl especially.
Yeah, thank you.
But would it be safe to say that No Time to Die is the biggest project that you've ever worked on? And I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit what it was like doing 6 months of a James Bond movie. Like, it must have been quite a different experience for you.
Yes, I think it is safe to say that it is the biggest film experience that I have ever had. I think it would be for any actor. There are a few big films out there, and this is one of them, this franchise. Spending 6 months and it felt great. I felt very well taken care of. I really enjoyed my peers and my colleagues. People were so warm, but also had a great sense of professionalism to them. They were very skilled at what they did. And just to step into movie history like that, to be allowed to be a part of that, I was humbled and I was privileged and I was happy. And the work with Cary and the script and with Barbara Broccoli and everybody else, I think I got to do an interesting role.
Yeah.
I think I got to go quite far, out on a limb with my character.
No, you were hilarious, I thought.
Yeah, thank you. So I didn't safeguard either. They permitted me, and they had the self-confidence to let me, do my thing. And it felt like it was a win-win situation for me and for them.
I want to ask you also, going into this, were you a Bond fan? And just what can you talk about your own experience with the franchise? Because I feel like everybody remembers the first Bond movie that they ever saw, and I was wondering if it was the same for you.
I think I was not a great Bond fan. As I grew up, Roger Moore was the Bond, but then as I got older, and then he retired or did something else, I lost my connection with Bond somehow. But then what happened was when Daniel Craig stepped into the franchise. That's when I was formative as an actor. They opened up for a bunch of Danish actors. So Mads Mikkelsen is in Casino Royale. Jesper Christensen is in Quantum of Solace or what do they call all those movies? So there was always a very strong Danish interest in in the Bond franchise. And then I got married, and my father-in-law is a big Bond fan, so he took me to see Skyfall on the opening night. So then through him, and I started having a connection, and through my Danish heritage, I thought, I reconnected with the bonds of my childhood.
Well, nice. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Where's 007?
Name?
Bond. James Bond.
James, you don't know what this is.
Salute. You ever flown one of these things before?
Nope.
James Bond, license to kill. I could be speaking to my own reflection.
I have to finish this.
I know.